Hello everyone, hi. Hi, how are we doing? Hi. Nice mic, thank you very much. This thing. Good morning. Oh, it's very late at night here. Hello, hi. Hi everyone, hi. I'm not going to sing for you, no. This is my recording setup. I'm recording fairy tales. So I just wanted people to come listen along. I'm going to be doing my work, so I won't be like interacting apart from in between pieces or here and there. But you're welcome to obviously join in. Feel free to obviously smack the screen for those likes if you like the story. And I do fairy tales. I do all sorts. I do fairy tales, bedtime stories, relaxations, general books like Dracula and Alice in Wonderland, Sherlock Holmes. I did a book called Eternal Vigilance, which is about vampires. I do poetry, and I even do 18 plus spicy stuff. 18 plus spicy stories. They even get done too. So yeah, it's very fun to do all this different content. So yeah, if people want to join in and just sit and relax while I record fairy tales, you're more than welcome to. And yeah, join in while I record for my Patreon. But yes, thank you very much for saying I have beautiful eyes. Joey, wait, okay, I'm waiting. Yes, I go for the really old fairy tales as well. I try to go for the ones that people might not know, or at least the ones that, people might enjoy. I am single, yes. Love you too. Right, so I'm going to get started. I'm sorry, everyone who wants to obviously ask me questions and do things. Hi. My voice is soft right now because oh, of course, you're more than welcome to watch. There are going to be moments where I'm talking to the Patreon crowd in the future. You're going to see me just talking to no one, which is interesting. But I'm also going to be talking to you here and there as well. So thank you very much for joining in. I'm going to start recording. We're actually starting the fairy tales today with a story called The Paradise of Children, which is a fantastic story. And once I start reading it, if you don't know this story, you will once I start mentioning names. So I'm going to get started. Thank you very much. There's going to be moments where I trip over my own words and I have to stop and re-record and do bits, but stop for drinks, which I've got. I've got my water. So yeah, relax, sit back, and enjoy. Also, those invites. Yes, is everyone sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin. If you're wondering why I'm looking around as well, I've got a screen like here. I've got a screen here, and I've got my main like equipment screen to my right hand side, and I need to know where my fingers are, so I'm pushing the right buttons, which is why I keep looking over. Eventually, I'm sure, like typing on a keyboard, I'll be able to do it without looking. But we'll get there. We'll get there, because it's all very new. Okay. What's happening here? I am recording fairy tales for my Patreon, and this is a sort of behind the scenes setup, so people can just sort of watch and chill out. I'm not in my usual place. Normally I'd be in my room. I've got this little soundproof box, so this isn't as soundproof as it normally would be, but I need the space to be able to be in the video as well and have all my screens. So yeah, hi everyone. Like I said, I'm going to start with a story called The Paradise of Children. And I'll speak to you when it's either over or I mess up a line, which probably will only take like 3 seconds. Okay, right. I will speak to you soon. I'll be right here. Hello and welcome to another episode of Bedtime Stories, read by Joey Cole. Tonight, I wish to bring you a story called The Paradise of Children. The Paradise of Children is an absolutely wonderful story with names you will definitely recognize, but maybe not a story you know. Well, you know it, but maybe not this story specifically. So without further ado, I want to bring you The Paradise of Children. I'm smiling because I'm on live, so if this gets serious, I'm going to have to not be smiling. Oh. So you're going to have to learn when I am and I'm not recording as well. Right. Long, long ago, when this old world was in its tender infancy, there was a child named Epimetheus, who never had either father or mother. And that he might not be lonely, another child, fatherless and motherless like himself, was sent by the gods to be his playfellow and helpmate. Her name was Pandora. The first thing that Pandora saw when she entered the cottage where Epimetheus lived was a great box, and almost the first question that she put to him was this: "Epimetheus, what have you in that—" Ooh, I thought she said, "What have you done in this box?" Why is my sound also not coming out of the right place? Hang on. Epimetheus. That's what I want to get rid of. That bit there. I don't do click recording when I'm doing recordings because these are so short. It's easier to edit as I go. But in was this great box, and almost the first question that she put to him was this. Okay, no, we're good. Right, carrying on. Oh, you're more than welcome. Epimetheus, what have you in that box? My dear little Pandora, answered Epimetheus, that is a secret, and you must be kind enough not to ask any questions about it. The box was left here to be kept safely, and I do not myself know what it contains. It is thousands of years since the myths tell us that Epimetheus and Pandora lived, and the world nowadays is a very different sort of place from what it was then. There were no fathers or mothers to take care of the children, because there was no danger or trouble of any kind, and no clothes to be mended, and there was plenty to eat and drink. Whenever a child wanted his dinner, he found it growing on a tree. It was a very pleasant life indeed. No labour had to be done, no tasks studied. All was sport and dancing, and the sweet voices of children talking or carolling like birds, or laughing merrily all day long. But Pandora was not altogether happy on account of Epimetheus's explanation about the box. Where can it have come from? She continually asked herself, and what on earth can be inside it? At least she spoke to Epimetheus. You might open the box, Pandora said, and then we could see its contents for ourselves. Pandora, what are you thinking of? Epimetheus exclaimed, and his face expressed so much horror at the idea of looking into a box which had been given to him on condition that he never open it, that Pandora thought it best not to suggest it any more. Still, she could not help thinking and talking about it. At least, she said, you can tell me how it came here. It was left at the door, Epimetheus replied, just before you came, and by a person who looked very smiling and intelligent, and who could hardly keep from smiling as he set it down. He was dressed in an odd kind of a cloak, and had a cap that seemed to be made partly of feathers, so that it looked as if it had wings. What sort of staff had he? Asked Pandora. Oh, the most curious staff that you ever saw, cried Epimetheus. It was like two serpents twisting around a stick, and was carved so naturally that I, at first, thought the serpents were alive. I know him, said Pandora thoughtfully. Nobody else has such a staff. It was Mercury, and he brought me here as well as the box. No doubt he intended it for me, and most probably it contains pretty dresses for me to wear, or toys for us both, or something nice for us to eat." "Perhaps so," answered Epimetheus, turning away. "But until Mercury comes back and gives his permission, we have neither of us any right to lift the lid." One day, not long after that, Epimetheus went to gather figs and grapes by himself without asking Pandora. Ever since she had come, he had heard about that box. Nothing but the box, and he was tired of it. And as soon as he was gone, Pandora kneeled down on the floor and looked intently at it. Hello, everyone. Drink break. I like being told stories too. All right, where was I? It was made of a beautiful kind of wood, and was so highly polished that Pandora could see her face in it. The edges and corners were carved with most wonderful skill. Around the edge there were figures of graceful men and women, and the prettiest children ever seen, reclining or playing in gardens and forests. The most beautiful face of all was done in high relief in the center of the box. There was nothing else save the dark, rich smoothness of the wood, and this one face with a garland of flowers about its brow. The features had a kind of mischievous expression with all of their loveliness, as if the mouth had spoken, it probably would have said, "Do not be afraid, Pandora. What harm can there be in opening a box? Never mind that poor, simple Epimetheus. You are wiser than he, and have 10 times as much courage. Open the box, and see if you do not find something very pretty." And on this particular day, when Pandora was alone, her curiosity grew so great that at last she touched the box. She was more than half determined to open it if she could. First, however, she tried to lift it. It was heavy, much too heavy for the slender strength of a child like Pandora. She raised one end of the box a few inches from the floor, and then let it fall with a pretty loud thump. A moment afterwards she almost thought that she heard something stir inside the box. She was not quite sure whether she heard it or not, but her curiosity grew stronger than ever. Suddenly her eyes fell on a curious knot of gold that tied it. She took it in her fingers, and almost without intending it, she was soon busily engaged in trying to undo it. It was a very intricate knot indeed, but at last, by the merest accident, Pandora gave the cord a kind of twist, and it unwound itself, as if by magic. The box was without a fastening. "This is the strangest thing I ever knew," Pandora said. "What will Epimetheus say, and how can I possibly tie it again?" And then the thought came into her naughty little heart that since she would be suspected of looking into the box, she might as well do so at once. As Pandora raised the lid of the box, the cottage was suddenly darkened, for a black cloud had swept quite over the sun and seemed to have buried it alive. There had, for a little while past, been a low growling and grumbling, which all at once broke into a heavy peal of thunder. But Pandora heeded nothing of all this. She lifted the lid nearly upright and looked inside. It seemed as if a sudden swarm of winged creatures brushed past her, taking flight out of the box, while at the same time she heard the voice of Epimetheus in the doorway, exclaiming if he was in pain, "I'm stung! I'm stung! Naughty Pandora, why have you opened this wicked box?" Pandora let fall the lid, and looked up to see what had befallen Epimetheus. The thundercloud had so darkened the room that she could not clearly see what was in it, but she heard a disagreeable buzzing, as if a great many huge flies or giant bees were darting about. and as her eyes grew accustomed to the dimness, she saw a crowd of ugly little shapes, looking very spiteful, and having bats' wings and terribly long stings in their tails. It was one of these that had strung Epimetheus, nor was it a great while after before Pandora herself began to cry. An odious little monster had settled on her forehead, and would have stung her very deeply if Epimetheus had not run and brushed it away. Now if you try that one again. Now, if you wish to know what these ugly things were that made their escape out of the box, I must tell you that they were the whole family of earthly troubles. There were evil passions. There were a great many species of cares. There were more than 150 sorrows. There were diseases in vast number of strange and painful shapes. There were more kinds of naughtiness than it would be of any kind of use to talk about. In short, everything that has since afflicted the souls and bodies of mankind had been shut up in a mysterious box given to Epimetheus and Pandora to be kept safely in order that the happy children of the world might never be touched by them. Had they been faithful to their trust, all would have gone well with them. No grown person would ever have been sad, nor any child have had any cause to shed a single tear, from that hour until this moment. But it was impossible that the two children should keep the ugly swarm in their own little cottage. Pandora flung open the windows and doors to try and get rid of them, and, sure enough, away flew the winged troubles, and so pestered and tormented the people everywhere about that none of them so much as smiled for many days afterward. And the children of the earth, who before had seemed ageless, now grew older day by day, and came soon to be youths and maidens, men and women, and then old folks, before they dreamed of such a thing. Meanwhile, the naughty Pandora and Epimetheus remained in their cottage. Both of them had been painfully stung. Epimetheus sat down sullenly in a corner with his back to Pandora. As for poor little Pandora, she flung herself upon the floor and rested her head on the fatal box. She was crying as if her heart would break. But suddenly, there was a gentle little tap on the inside of the lid. "What can that be?" cried Pandora, lifting her head. But Epimetheus was too much out of humour to answer her. Again the tap. It sounded like the tiny knuckles of a fairy's hand. "Who are you?" asked Pandora. Who are you inside of this dreadful box?" A sweet little voice came from within, saying, "Only lift the lid, and you shall see." "No, no," answered Pandora. "I have had enough of lifting the lid. You need never think that I shall be so foolish as to let you out." "Ah," said the sweet little voice again, "you had much better let me out. I am not like those naughty creatures that have stings in their tails. They have no relation to me, as you would soon find out if you would only lift the lid." Indeed, there was a kind of cheerful witchery in the tone that made it almost impossible to refuse anything which this little voice asked. Pandora's heart had grown lighter at every word that came from the box. Epimetheus, too, had left his corner and seemed to be in better spirits. And now I'm gonna be super embarrassed and realized that I pressed the record button, but not the right one. So I'm not all of it, just the last few bits. So I'm gonna have to work out where I didn't record and re-record that, and you're all gonna hear it again. See, the trials and tribulations of audio recording. It's not even the end of the story. It's because I'm on live. I'm normally... A sweet little voice. A sweet little voice came from within saying... Oh, okay, yeah, no, we're not that far back. We're fine. Duh. It's fine. There's going to be more reading after this. I'm recording multiple stories. It's not just the one. Where was I? Came from within saying... There we go. Right. Oh. Details. Yes, I'm human. Exactly. It's because I'm on a live, like, I'm in a different setup. It's fine. I know, it's fine. We get to listen to it again anyway. Hi, everyone. Oh, right, okay. So a sweet little voice came from within saying, "Only lift the lid, and you shall see." "No, no," answered Pandora. "I have had enough of lifting the lid. You need never think that I shall be so foolish as to let you out again." "Ah," said the sweet little voice again, "you had much better let me out. I am not like those naughty creatures that have their stings in their tail. They have no relation to me, as you would soon find out, if you would only lift the lid." Indeed, there was a kind of cheerful witchery in the tone that made it almost impossible to refuse anything which this little voice asked. Pandora's heart had grown lighter at every word that came from the box. Epimetheus, too, had left his corner and seemed to be in better spirits. "Epimetheus," exclaimed Pandora, "come what may, I am resolved to lift the lid." "And as the lid seems very heavy," said Epimetheus, running across the room, "I will help you." So, with one consent, the two children lifted the lid. Out flew a sunny and smiling little personage and hovered about the room, throwing light wherever she went. Have you ever made the sunshine dance into dark corners by reflecting it from a bit of looking-glass? Well, so appeared the winged cheerfulness of this fairy-like stranger amid the gloom of the cottage. She flew to Epimetheus and laid the least touch of her finger on the inflamed spot where the trouble had stung him, and immediately the pain of it was gone. Then she kissed Pandora on the forehead, and her hurt was cured likewise. "Who are you, beautiful creature?" asked Pandora. "I am to be called Hope," explained the sunshiny figure. "And because I am such a cheerful person, I was packed by the gods into the box to make amends for the swarm of ugly troubles. Never fear, we shall do pretty well in spite of them." "Your wings are colored like the rainbow," exclaimed Pandora. "How beautiful!" "And will you stay with us?" asked Epimetheus. "Forever and ever?" "As long as you need me," said Hope. "And that will be as long as you live in the world. I promise never to desert you." So Pandora and Epimetheus found Hope, and so has everybody else who has trusted her since that day. The troubles are still flying around the world, but we have that lovely and lightsome fairy, Hope, to cure their stings and make the world brand new for us. Thank you very much for being here for another bedtime story with Joey Cole. I really should say the end, so the end. And we will see you again next time. Good morning, good night, sleep well, sweet dreams, have a good day. Bye. See, now that's better, right? I love the story of Epimetheus and Pandora, and the reason I read it is because a lot of people are aware that like the darkness and horribleness comes out of Pandora's box, but a lot of people forget that hope comes from Pandora's box as well. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That was fantastic. Sounded great. Glad you enjoyed. Very glad everyone's enjoying the story. So I'm just gonna sort that out. I'm not gonna actually like do any of the editing now. I'm gonna record these, save them, and obviously edit them as I go. But tonight is a recording evening, and so that's what we are doing. I'm obviously gonna sit for a minute and relax, because, well, I've just read a story. So I'll have some water, and I'm glad. Take a drink and back to work. Not straight back to work. I'm gonna sit for a minute, but yes, back to work. Normally, I'd work much faster than this. No, well, I say much faster. Normally, I would work like that. It would be sweet. Carry on. Need to take care of that voice. Absolutely. I can see ASMR in the pipeline. I tried it once, like whispering ASMR. I wasn't keen on it, and yeah. I'm glad you like the spotty shirt. Hello, hello. Hi, Tammy Hicks. Nice to see you. Please, will I do this again? We might have to make this like a regular thing. Hey, we may have to have these lives where I just do my readings. Glad you're liking the polka dots. Yes. How long did it take to get? I'm still getting comfortable with this process. Genuinely, still getting comfortable with it. There are moments where, especially when people are like in pain or angry, because I have a tendency to be like, rather than actually like standing back and getting angry. I just go like, how dare you? And muffle my voice in anger rather than actually get angry. And it's the same for other scenes and other emotions. Like I tend to sort of mute them rather than. Do I do vocal warm-ups? Yeah, that's what I was doing while I was posting this. I have all sorts that I change between, some that I just think are weird. But yes, make this a regular live, so soothing. I mean, it wouldn't be regular. I mean, I might do once or twice a month. I might like pop on so you can see the recording process, because, you know, got to keep some things secret. Right, let's carry on. Hang on, I need to change something on here because I noticed something I wasn't keen on over here. Let me go back to this bit here. Long, long ago, when this old world was in its tender infancy. Cool, yeah. Alright, so let's save that. Put it in the correct file. That one. That one. Nice. Okay. With that done, we can start another one, can't we? We can start another one, and carry on. No, I didn't want to do that to the computer. Let's go away. So we can go over nothing on there. Okay. Right. Okay, right, we're good. We are ready to carry on, which is what I'm going to do. What was that? How are you looking at it and know you're not keen on it? What do you mean? What's next? You're about to find out, aren't you? It's more both like sharing the recording process and just letting people sit and listen in, you know. It's nice, isn't it? We're just hanging out. Okay, let's carry on. Okay. We aren't here. Flies a very quiet wall. So nice to decompress. This is decompression zone, isn't it? Oh, some of you may know this, and I'm kidding. I think everyone here knows some form of this story, most definitely. Thank you for saying you love my outfit. Oh, no, I was saying I'm not keen on doing ASMR, is what I was saying. Every day's been lovely. Oh, not keen on that bit. Right, I see. But it over recorded at the end there when I was looking at my screen. Okay. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bedtime Stories with Joey Cole. Today I'm going to be reading a classic that's been adopted into many, many tales. One in particular you will know as a Disney movie. And, well, I bring you the lovely bedtime story, The Adventures of Aladdin. Once upon a time, a window had an only son. It was a windowsill, and it lived beneath its mother for all of its life. I'm kidding, obviously. Hang on, there's something not right going on here. Hello? Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, it's because my accounts keep getting taken down by TikTok. I'm not sitting on the floor. Sound check. Oh, is this thing on? Right, okay, let's try that again. Yeah, there we go, nice, okay. Right. Oh. Very well, thank you. Very well indeed. Okay, let's actually get started, shall we? That'd be a smart idea. Once upon a time, a widow had an only son whose name was Aladdin. They were very poor and lived from hand to mouth, though Aladdin did what he could to earn some pennies by picking bananas in faraway places. One day, as he was looking for wild figs in a grove some way from the town, Aladdin met a mysterious stranger. This smartly dressed, dark-eyed man with a trim black beard and a splendid sapphire in his turban asked Aladdin an unusual question. "Come here, boy," he ordered. "How would you like to earn a silver penny?" "A silver penny?" exclaimed Aladdin. "Sir, I'd do anything for that kind of payment." "I'm not going to ask you to do too much. Just go down that manhole. I'm much too big to squeeze through myself. If you do as I ask, you'll have your reward." The stranger helped Aladdin lift the manhole cover, for it was very heavy. Slim and agile as he was, the boy easily went down. His feet touched stone, and he carefully made his way down some steps, and found himself in a large chamber. It seemed to sparkle, though dimly lit by the flickering light of an old oil lamp. When Aladdin's eyes became used to the gloom, he saw a wonderful sight. Trees dripping with glittering jewels, pots of gold and caskets full of priceless gems. Thousands of precious objects lay scattered about. It was a treasure trove. Unable to believe his eyes, Aladdin was standing dazed when he heard a shout behind him. We're going to redo that because I said blah 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 bell behind him. Behind him, I said. Behind him. Behind him. It's a good one, isn't it? So the last line was, "It was a treasure trove," which is where? There. I highlighted it. There. It was a treasure trove. Unable to believe his eyes, Aladdin was standing dazed when he heard a shout behind him. "The lamp! Put out the flame and bring me the lamp." Surprised and suspicious, for why would the stranger, out of all such a treasure, want only an old lamp? Aladdin wondered. Perhaps he was a wizard, so decided to be on his guard. Picking up the lamp, he retraced his steps up to the entrance. "Give me the lamp," urged the wizard impatiently. "Hand it over." He began to shout, thrusting out his arm to grab it, but Aladdin cautiously drew back. "Let me out first." "Too bad for you," snapped the stranger, slamming down the manhole cover, never noticing that as he did so, a ring slid off his finger. A terrified Aladdin was left in pitch darkness, wondering what the wizard would do next. Then he trod on the ring. Aimlessly putting it on his finger, he twisted it round and round. Suddenly the room was flooded with a rosy light, and a great genie with clasped hands appeared in a cloud. "At your command, sire," said the genie. Now astounded, Aladdin could only stammer, I want to go home." In a flash, he was back in his own home. Through the door was tightly shut. Through the door, though the door. See that I make mistakes quite regularly. Though the door was tightly shut. Though the door was tightly shut. "At your command, sire." Right, okay, cool. We're going to go. Just bear with. All right, bear with. It's been so long since you've seen me. It's because my account's got Thanos, and then I had to make a new one, and then I had to go back to my old one, and I didn't want to be on my old one because that's not what I'm about anymore. So now I'm here on this one. So, if you miss me, click the follow button for more content. You can't hear the voice. I don't know why I'm getting closer to the mic. Yeah, so carrying on. What was the last line I did? His own home, because I did through the door. In a flash, he was back in his own home, though the door was tightly shut. "How did you get in?" called his mother from the kitchen stove the minute she set eyes on him. Excitedly, her son told her of his adventures. "Where's the silver coin?" his mother asked. Aladdin clapped a hand to his brow, for all he had brought home was the old oil lamp. "Oh, Mother, I'm so sorry, this is all I've got." "Well, let's hope it works. It's so dirty." And the widow began to rub the lamp. Suddenly, out shot another genie in a cloud of smoke. "You've set me free! After centuries, I was a prisoner in the lamp, waiting to be freed by someone rubbing it. Now I am your obedient servant. Tell me your wishes." And the genie bowed respectfully, awaiting Aladdin's orders. The boy and his mother gaped wordlessly at this incredible apparition. Then the genie said, with a hint of impatience in his voice, "I'm here at your command. Tell me what you want. Anything you like." Aladdin gulped, then said, Bring... His mother, not having yet begun to cook the dinner, went on to say, a lovely big meal." From that day on, the widow and her son had everything they could wish for: food, clothes, and a fine home, for the genie of the lamp granted them everything they asked for. Aladdin grew into a tall, handsome young man, and his mother felt that he ought to find himself a wife, sooner or later. One day, as he left the market, Aladdin happened to see the Sultan's daughter Halima in her sedan chair. Sedan chair. I was like, in her sedan, one of those cars. In ancient Arabia, she's driving around in her Ford sedan, or whatever the hell they are, some form of sedan. Most cars are sedan. It's a type of car, isn't it? I don't know. I'm trying to record fairy tales here, not talk about cars. Now or later. What is that? Now or later. Sorry, I'm listening to myself in my head, so I'm repeating myself. I'm not playing anything. I'm recording books. Well, recording fairy tales. Currently, Aladdin, Halima. Her name is Halima. Sooner or later. I think that's where we were. Halima. Right, okay, that's better. One day, as he left the market, Aladdin happened to see the Sultan's daughter Halima in her sedan chair being carried through the streets. Her only caught a fleeting glimpse of Stop, I'm tripping over myself, hang on. Just have some water and a breath. I'm reading ahead of myself. And I keep tripping over words. I really shouldn't do that. Huh. So, there. We'll get rid of that. Maybe that is where the word sedan comes from. No one knows. But this is it. I do this all the time. I'm sitting here like, oh my God, this is like, I'm being silly, like tripping over myself on a TikTok live. But no, like this is how I record. Like I trip over myself. I just find it funny. I normally end up going blah, 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 and making myself laugh. One day I'm going to clip out all the bits where I mess up words and just put them in one long cacophony of terribleness. Sedan chair being carried through the streets. He only caught a fleeting glimpse of the princess, but it was enough for him to want to marry her. Aladdin told his mother, and she quickly said, "I'll ask the Sultan for his daughter's hand. He'll never be able to refuse. Wait and see." And indeed, the Sultan was easily persuaded by a casket full of big diamonds to admit the widow to the palace. However, when he learned why she had come, he told the widow that her son must bring proof of his power and riches. This was mostly the Chamberlain's idea, for he himself was eager to marry the beautiful black-eyed Sultan's daughter. "If Aladdin wants to marry Halima," said the Sultan, He must send me 40 slaves tomorrow. Every slave must bring a box of precious stones, and 40 Arab warriors must escort the treasure." Aladdin's mother went sadly home. The genie of the magic lamp had already worked wonders, but nothing like this. Aladdin, however, when he heard the news, was not at all dismayed. He picked up the lamp, rubbed it harder than ever, and told the genie what he required. The genie simply clapped his hands 3 times. 40 slaves magically appeared carrying the gemstones, together with their escort of 40 Arab warriors. When he saw all this the next day, the Sultan was taken aback. He never imagined such wealth could exist. Just as he was about to accept Aladdin as his daughter's bridegroom, the envious chamberlain broke in with a question. "Where will they live?" he asked. The Sultan pondered for a moment. Then, allowing greed to get the better of him, he told Aladdin to build a great, splendid palace for Halimah. Aladdin went straight home, and in what was once a wilderness, the genie built him a palace. The last obstacle had been overcome. The wedding took place with great celebrations, and the Sultan was especially happy at finding such a rich and powerful son-in-law. News of Aladdin's sudden fortune and wealth spread like wildfire, until one day a strange merchant stopped beneath the palace window. "Old lamps for new," he called to the princess standing on the balcony. Now Aladdin had always kept his secret to himself. Only his mother knew it, and she had never told a soul. Halimah, alas, had been kept in the dark. And so now, wanting to give Aladdin a surprise as well as make a good bargain, she fetched the old oil lamp she had seen Aladdin tuck away, and give it to the merchant in exchange for a new one. The merchant quickly began to rub it, and the genie was now at the service of the wizard, who had got his magic lamp back. In a second, he whisked away all Aladdin's possessions, and magically sent the palace and the princess to an unknown land. Aladdin and the Sultan were at their wits' end. Nobody knew what had happened. Only Aladdin knew it had something to do with the magic lamp. But as he wept over the lost genie of the lamp, he remembered the genie of the ring from the wizard's finger. Slipping the ring on his finger, Aladdin twisted it around and around. "Take me to a place where the wizard had hidden..." Getting all angry, Aladdin, and then you just stumble over your word. "Take me..." That'd be the most embarrassing moment of your life, Aladdin. "Take me to a place..." Shouting at a genie, and then you trip over your own words. "Take me to lemon blah," and you end up on a planet in the 5th dimension of Goblin Blog. I don't know. That's not usually there. Oh, right. Try that one again, shall we? "Take me to the place where the wizard has hidden my wife," he ordered the genie. In a flash, he found himself inside his own palace, and peeping from behind a curtain, he saw the wizard and the princess, now his servant. "Psst! Psst!" hissed Aladdin. "Aladdin, it's you! Shh! Don't let him hear you. Take this powder and put it into his tea. Trust me." The powder quickly took effect, and the wizard fell into a deep sleep. Aladdin hunted for the lamp high and low, but it was nowhere to be seen. But it had to be there. How otherwise had the wizard moved the palace? As Aladdin gazed at his sleeping enemy, he thought of peering underneath the pillow. "The lamp, at last!" sighed Aladdin, hastily rubbing it. "Oh, welcome back, master!" exclaimed the genie. "Why did you leave me at another service for so long?" "Welcome," replied Aladdin. "I'm glad to see you again. I've certainly missed you. It's just as well I have you by me again." "At your command," smiled the genie. "First, put this wicked wizard in chains and take him far away where he'll never be found again. The genie grinned with pleasure, nodded his head, and the wizard vanished. Halimar clutched Aladdin in fear. "What's going on? Who is that genie?" "Don't worry, everything is all right," Aladdin reassured her, as he told his wife the whole story of how he had met the wizard and found the magic lamp that had enabled him to marry her. Everything went back to normal, and the happy pair hugged each other tenderly. "Can we return to our own kingdom?" the princess asked timidly, thinking of her father so far away. Aladdin glanced at her with a smile. "The magic that brought you here will take you back, but with me at your side, forever." The Sultan was almost ill with worry. His daughter had disappeared along with the palace, and then his son-in-law had vanished too. Nobody knew where they were, not even the wise men hastily called to the palace to divine what had happened. The jealous chamberlain kept on repeating, "I told you Aladdin's fortune couldn't last." Everyone had lost all hope of ever seeing the missing pair again, when far away Aladdin rubbed the magic lamp and said to the genie, "Take my wife, myself, and the palace back to our own land, as fast as you can." "In a flash, sire," replied the genie. At the snap of a finger, the palace rose into the air and sped over the Sultan's kingdoms above the heads of his astonished subjects. It gently floated down to earth and landed in its old site. Aladdin and Halimar rushed to embrace the Sultan. To this very day, in that distant country, you can still admire the traces of an ancient palace, which folk call the palace that came from the skies. The end. Actually remembered to say the end that time. How nice is that? I hope you enjoyed this story, another sleep story with myself. Aladdin has always been a lovely story, but this one's hard to pick the moral out sometimes. But I hope you enjoyed. So, sweet dreams, sleep well, have a good day, good night, good morning. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye. Hello. It was a great nap. I'm glad you enjoyed the nap. I love your sign off. It's such a random sign off, right? Thank you. I'm glad you like the smile when I say bye. It's because I get happy. Like, I know. Yes, yeah, I'll be doing another one. We're going to do another one. What microphone am I using? So currently my microphone is a Blue Yeti is what I'm using, which is a great introductory mic for what I'm doing, but we will be getting better equipment as time goes on. Just piece by piece by piece, we're upgrading. So yeah, almost nodded off, almost nodded off. What story was it? That was the original story of Aladdin. How it originally went before Disney changed it entirely. Beauty and the Beast as well. Belle here. We'll be getting to that one. I've got a list. I'm doing them in that order. What does this thing do in front of the mic? So this is a pop filter. The pop filter is there for when I do like p noises or any form of like breath. It stops the ps and the p hitting the mic, so you don't get mic pop. You know. So if you said Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers directly into the mic, you'd hear Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Whereas with this, it sounds like Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. And you do have to learn to soften your P's and your B's as well, so you're not pounding into the mic, which is insane. Yeah, it keeps the mic blow from happening, and I over-explain stuff. I'm really sorry. I just babble. I'm a babbler. Which is why this is a good job for me. It's very different listening to stories. Is it? Yeah. Sketching while you listen. Does it create new images as you draw? That's a great way of doing it. You should start doodling something that your mind hears in the story, and then as soon as you're done with it, like change to doodling something else near it. I used to do I used to do things called random draws, which is where you make like 3 stacks of paper. I'm talking into the mic again. You create 3 stacks of paper. One are places, make sure that they're weird, like, I don't know, the desert, space, the moon, supermarket, underwater, an evil lair inside a volcano, underground. Just come up with loads. A Wild West cowboy bar, right? That's your place. Then you come up with a stack of objects, people. So, but I mean like living things. That's the one I was going for. So you can do like man, woman, dogs, cats, Tyrannosaurus Rexes, all of those, just everything you can think of that's living, mythological or not, ever, just anything that your mind can think of, make a stack of those. And then make a stack of objects, just anything, once again, chairs, wands, swords. And then you shuffle each one individually and you draw 3, and you have to draw that creature interacting with that object in that landscaped scenario, and you get really strange drawings and doodles come up, like men, women, ducks, unicorns, fairies, platypuses, amoebas, bacteria, anything that's living. And yeah, you just get really stupid. And then yeah, you can always, like, if you get artist block, it's really good to just go to those piles, pick one of each, and try and draw something random. And sometimes you'll like draw some really cool stuff, and other times you'll be like, what is this and how? And it really challenges you. So yeah, it's good fun. I need to get some more water, so I will be right back with you. I am going to remember to take these off before I walk away and just pull everything over. Like that, got stuck on my knee. You forgot to bring. Oh no! The couch is hit. No, I've got like a little soft stool that I'm sitting on right now. Normally, I would be in a proper office chair upstairs in my little recording studio. Very educational and entertaining. I'm glad you're enjoying. Google randomly and draw. Absolutely, yeah. I agree. If you get more inspiration from other images, you could do the same thing. So you could draw one from each pile stack and then Google 3 reference images to put together. Why aren't I in my office? Because I'm doing this whole live on TikTok thing. And it's so much easier with the room and the amount of plugs we have in here. So in my office, I have one plug which has an extension lead in it, which has 4 plugs, which a lot of stuff is using. No, I don't just do kid stories. I do grown-up stories. I do meditations. I do actual books like Dracula, Sherlock Holmes, and I even do like 18 plus spicy, like literotica, I suppose is what you'd class it as. Which are good fun. I do all sorts. It's good to hear your voice. Hopefully you can relax now, Christmas dogs. Spicy. Yeah, right. Sherlock update. So no more Sherlock until Dracula is finished. And with the Dracula update, what I'm actually going to do is, we've got a couple of chapters recorded. Is I'm going to make a nice long Dracula episode to come out later in April, which will be 2, 3, 4 chapters long. So yeah, spicy story night. Yeah, I can't do that on TikTok, I'm afraid. That's the reason I keep getting chucked off. You'd listen to me narrate anything. Thank you very much. It's always fun. Sharon, in real life, thank you very much for the headphones. Greatly appreciated. I love how soft you're speaking, very peaceful. Well, at this point, at time of night 1, My roommates are asleep upstairs. So I can't be too loud anyway, which is why I use this time of night to do my sleep stories. Because thank you, Joyby, thank you, Shelby. Because I have to talk in the soft voice, so I don't wake anyone up. So it's perfect to do my recordings on. I can't do Harry Potter because unless I'm signed it by by the company that manages it, it would be against copyright. I could read it here on TikTok in a live some point just for the hell of it, but that would take up a lot of time, and I'd have very little time as it is. Gasp! Oh my God, it's you! Yes, it's me. We are recording fairy tales, so feel free to sit around and listen to me record books. I'm loving this bit of work in the morning, so good night. Well, good night. Sleep well. So yes. And if anyone's wondering where they can listen to my stuff, you can find it on my Patreon, which if you go on my TikTok profile is the link in my bio. And that's where all of my stuff. Is there anything available from Neil Gaiman? Yeah, I've been told I've got a very Neil Gaiman-esque voice or tone to when I read stuff, so hey bestie. Hi everyone, how are we doing? So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to record one more, which will be, there'll be the 3 I've done for this evening. I live in England, by the way, in the east of England. And then after I've recorded one more, soothing as fuck. I'm glad my voice is soothing as fuck. I'm very grateful that it's soothing as fuck. In the east of England, yeah, I love that book. Here, Clive Owen vibes. Yeah, cool. Sending love from New Orleans tonight. Could you do The Princess and the Pea? So that is in here, but that's not the story I'll be reading. So, give me 1 second. Where are we? I've lost my files. Hang on. They are here. It's just me being silly. Okay. So, amazingly, it's not the longest story in the world, but it is a wonderful story. Okay. So, the last one I'll be recording this evening, before we, a public domain, yes, stories and authors that hire them, exactly. So I can only record stuff that's in the public domain. Otherwise, I'm going against copyright, so I can't do that. But I do have I'm getting in contact with more and more authors now, and I've got a couple of books on the horizon, which I'm just waiting to confirm the final details, and then we can be like, yeah, look, this is coming out. Which would be lovely, and I can't wait to do that again because it always gets exciting when there's like a proper book on the horizon. But yes, the final story of this evening is The Tale of Peter Rabbit. You might know it. It's by Beatrix Potter. It's a beautiful story. The artwork is stunning. Yeah, and we don't need any lawsuits in my life. So I'm just going to set up to get ready to record The Tale of Peter Rabbit. Is a good one. I've actually got another rabbit story. Does anyone know the Velveteen Rabbit? I've also got that one lined up to record over the next few days as well. And I absolutely love the Velveteen Rabbit. Yeah, I should have got it out sooner. Do these go on Audible? No, these are for my Patreon. So my Patreon is my self-subscription service where it's all just me recording various stuff from fairy tales to all sorts. Yes, yeah. Thank you for noticing the Yeti, Mike. Much appreciated. I like the Yeti. It's been really good to me for like a USB mic. It blows my mind. Did I save Aladdin? I'm now saving Aladdin. Don't worry. They come. It'll be in the background anyway. I also have a backup recovery set, so if I ever close the program without saving a file, it reopens that file next time. Hi, Sword and Sea. Nice to see you in here again. Hi. Good to see you. Bam. Always need to do that. Every single time a new account gets created, that needs to happen. So yes, it's good to see you. And welcome. I'm just reading fairy tales at the moment. We're about to read Peter Rabbit, the tale of Peter Rabbit anyway. So yeah, I'm recording them for my Patreon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So that's Aladdin saved and ready. Let's get another file program open there. I'm going to go quiet for a minute while I get some room tone. How much longer are you on for, sweet? Your voice is so soothing. So I will be recording the tale of Peter Rabbit, depending on how long that takes. I may record another one, but we will see. But I will be chilling out for 20 minutes, half an hour after I've finished recording anyway. So we can all just sort of hang out for a minute and have a chill out before I disappear. Thank you, Sword and Z. So, right, I'm going to go silent for 20 seconds. Do apologise. Okay. Right. If I Instagram you my sister's art page at some point, you might like it. Go right ahead. My Instagram messages are open for anything you think I might like. Or just a message, just a hello. It's hard to get through them all because even at this point, I still get between 10 and 50 a day, which is fun. But I can't get through them all, unfortunately. Right, anyway, so I got something in my... Hey everyone. Hey, I was shivering with anticipation. Recording Peter Rabbit, yes. So, here we go. Hello, and welcome to another Bedtime Stories with Joey Cole, read by me as well, believe it or not. This is my Patreon, and this is the only place that you can come to hear these things. So, I should hope that they're being read by me. It would be a bit strange if you were on here and they weren't being read by me. But there you go. This evening's story, once we get onto the relaxing track, is The Tale of Peter Rabbit by Beatrix Potter. A personal favourite of mine, something I grew up with. We had the TV show here, which was just the drawings of the books, slightly animated, which was absolutely stunning. We had another one like that here as well, which was a personal favourite of mine growing up, called The Little Red Tractor. If you haven't seen that, please show that to anyone under the age of 8 years old. The Little Red Tractor is the most beautiful story. Anyway, but moving on to our actual story of the day, like I say, here is The Tale of Peter Rabbit. Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother in a sandbank, underneath the root of a very big fir tree. Now, my dears, said old Mrs. Rabbit one morning, you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. McGregor's garden. Your father had an accident there. He was put in a pie by Mrs. McGregor. Now run along, and don't get into mischief. I am going out. Then old Mrs. Rabbit took her basket and her umbrella to the baker's. She bought a loaf of brown bread and 5 currant buns. Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, who were good little bunnies, went down the lane to gather blackberries. But Peter, who was very naughty, ran straight away to Mr. McGregor's garden and squeezed under the gate. First he ate some lettuces and some French beans, and then he ate some radishes, and then, feeling rather sick, he went to look for some parsley. But round the edge of the cucumber frame, whom should he meet but Mr. McGregor? Mr. McGregor was on his hands and knees, planting out young cabbages, but he jumped up and ran after Peter, waving a rake and calling out, "Stop, thief!" Peter was most dreadfully frightened. He rushed all over the garden, and he had forgotten the way back to the gate. He lost one of his shoes among the cabbages, and the other shoe amongst the potatoes. After losing them, he ran on 4 legs and went faster, so that I think he might have got away altogether if he had not unfortunately run into a gooseberry net and got caught by the large buttons on his jacket. It was a blue jacket with brass buttons, quite new. Peter gave himself up for lost and shed big tears, but his sobs were overheard by some friendly sparrows, who flew to him in great excitement and implored him to exert himself. Mr. McGregor came up with a sieve, which he intended to pop upon the top of Peter, but Peter wriggled out just in time, leaving his jacket behind him, and rushed into the tool shed and jumped into a can. It would have been a beautiful thing to hide in, if it had not had so much water in it. Mr. McGregor was quite sure that Peter was somewhere in the tool shed, perhaps hidden underneath a flower pot. He began to turn them over carefully, looking under each one. Presently Peter sneezed. Achoo! Mr. McGregor was after him in no time, and tried to put his foot upon Peter, who jumped out of a window, upsetting 3 plants. The window was too small for Mr. McGregor, and he was tired of running after Peter, so he went back to his work. Peter sat down to rest. He was out of breath and trembling with fright. He had not the least idea which way to go. Also, he was very damp with sitting in that can. After a time, he began to wander about, going lippity-lippity not very fast and looking all around. He found a door in a wall, but it was locked, and there was no room for a fat little rabbit to squeeze underneath. An old mouse was running in and out over the stone doorstep carrying peas and beans to her family in the wood. Peter asked her the way to the gate, but she had such a large pea in her mouth that she could not answer. She only shook her head at him, and Peter began to cry. Then he tried to find his way straight across the garden, but he became more and more puzzled. Presently he came to a pond where Mr. McGregor filled his water cans. A white cat was staring at some goldfish. She sat very, very still, but now and then the tip of her tail twitched as if it were alive. Peter thought it best to go away without speaking to her. He had heard about cats from his cousin, little Benjamin Bunny. He went back towards the tool shed. Oh, hang on. I need to do that again. Little Benjamin Bunny was where I was. Little Benjamin Bunny. There it was. He went back towards the tool shed, but suddenly, quite close to him, he heard the noise of a scratch, 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 scratch. Peter scuttered underneath the bushes, but presently, as nothing happened, he came out and climbed upon a wheelbarrow and peeped over. The first thing he saw was Mr. McGregor hoeing onions. His back was turned towards Peter, and beyond him was the gate. Peter got down very quietly off the wheelbarrow and started running as fast as he could, along a straight walk behind some blackcurrant bushes. Mr. McGregor caught sight of him at the corner, but Peter did not care. He slipped underneath the gate and was safe at last in the wood outside the garden. Mr. McGregor hung up the little jacket and the shoes for a scarecrow to frighten the blackbirds. Peter never stopped running or looked behind him till he got home to the big fir tree. He was so tired that he flopped down upon a nice soft sand on the floor of the rabbit hole and shut his eyes. His mother was busy cooking. She wondered what he had done with his clothes. It was the second little jacket and pair of shoes that Peter had lost in a fortnight. I am sorry to say Peter was not very well during the evening. His mother put him to bed and made some chamomile tea, and she gave a dose of it to Peter. 1 tablespoonful to be taken at bedtime. But Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail had bread and milk and blackberries for supper. The end. Thank you very much for being here for one of the tales of Peter Rabbit. There are actually many of them, but this one's a very nice one and a good place to start. And it is a nice short read. We all do like the short stories. But yes, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in it again next time when we do another bedtime story. So, sweet dreams, sleep well, good night, good morning, have a good day, goodbye. I need to do my sign off again. We're going to go from there and just redo that bit, because there was a creaky door in the wind, which I need to stuff something under. See you all again next time. Sleep well, sweet dreams, good morning, good night, have a good day. Bye-bye. Okay, let me just save that one as well. Oh. Yep. That's that one done. Gotta feel your cracking. Oh, hey there. Hi, Frankie. Hi, nice to see you. Squeeze. Hi. To everyone who wants a squeeze. Sneeze was so cute. Faking sneezes is difficult. Please, one more. Was that a pretty please? Was it? Yeah, please. Maybe. Absolutely, yeah. No, the mics can be very sensitive. Like I do have it set, but the door is unfortunately like behind this camera that you're looking through. So it's very close to where I am. And unfortunately, door rattles and floorboard squeaks, anything that reverberates the house, obviously, is always going to be picked up. So I am, yeah, this is sort of recording for Patreon, but kind of like behind the scenes type thing. I'm just doing fairy tales at the moment. Other stuff like Dracula and Sherlock Holmes needs my full attention, especially when I'm changing characters so rapidly. Oh, it's getting late, and my voice hurts. Well, it doesn't hurt, but it's, you know, I don't want to wear it out too quickly, especially when I'm going to do a lot more tomorrow. So I am going to do one more. But it's going to be a very short one. Very short one. Bear with me. So I also have a collection of extremely short stories. Recording is normally done at night time. Sometimes during the day, but a lot of the time at night. It's quiet everywhere. No. It's super short. So I have a collection of really short stories, and these ones I'm recording piece by piece to put into like an anthology of super short stories, because they are so short that I reckon most of them take less than 2 minutes to read, 2 or 3 minutes. So this is a really short one, and this is one of the ones that will go into that collection. So yes, Let's do that. Right, as per usual, I'm gonna get my current room tone, so bear with me while I go quiet for 20 seconds. I work better at night as well. For some reason I focus more. The daylight distracts me. Okay, right, that's that one done. Just needed to exist for a moment. Someone just put it. Thank you. This one's got a little sore. I had something in the corner of it, and now you can see it's all redded out where I rubbed it. Sorry. We're okay. Nighttime is more fun. Absolutely. Audacity is a fantastic program, and there's a learning curve to it, but it's brilliant to use for like beginner audio editing. The random bits of silence are me recording room tone, so I can't make any sound during that time. Okay. I bring you extremely short story and very, very nice story. This one is called... Actually, no. You can just listen. Welcome to another part of the anthology of minis. These mini stories have been so much fun to read. And I will admit, we're getting quite a way through them now. This is what got to be number 5, 6, 7. This is number 7. So yeah, I bring you extremely short story and wonderful little story. Why the Bear Has a Stumpy Tail. One winter's day, the bear met the fox, who came slinking along with a string of fish he had stolen. "Hi, stop a minute. Where did you get those?" demanded the bear. "Oh, my Lord Bruin, I've been out fishing and caught them," said the fox. So the bear had a mind to learn to fish too, and bade the fox to tell him how he was set about it. "Oh, it's quite easy," answered the fox, "and soon learned. You've only got to go upon the ice and cut a hole and stick your tail down through it and hold it there as long as you can. You're not to mind if it smarts a little. That's when the fish bite. The longer you hold it there, the more fish you'll get, and then all at once out with it, with a cross pull sideways and a strong pull too." Well, the bear did as the fox said, and though he felt very cold, and his tail smarted very much, he kept it a long, long time down in the hole, till at last it was frozen in, though, of course, he did not know that. Then he pulled it out with a strong pull, and it snapped short off, and that's why Bruin the bear goes about with a stumpy tail to this very day. See, these little super shorts. Super shorts. Hang on, I'm gonna move that out of the way because I can move it anyway. It's on a leg and it goes wherever I want it to. I can put it wherever I please, and it stays within a static space of time, no matter its positioning. I can do it however I like. Cool. So, absolutely. Yeah, so the 20 seconds of audio at the beginning of silence records the tone of the room. Then when you do noise reduction, you select only that 20 seconds and you use noise reduction to select that as the profile of the noise it's removing. Then when you apply noise reduction to the entire piece, it uses that little fuzz and background tone to identify the noises it needs to remove from your audio. So yeah, I can take those off now as well. We can click that button over there, do this one, Anyone just coming in at the point be like, where? Yeah, right. Sorry. Learning things is fun. Do you read from a script or make it up as you go? Oh, it's read from a script. I have like books and stuff. Sometimes I'll make it up as I go. It depends what I'm recording. Sometimes it's improvised and I thoroughly enjoy it. So yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, exactly. That's what the 20 seconds of room tone is for, and they do it in professional careers as well. The person who operates the boom mic and recorder will just stand in each of the center of each of the sets to get room tone so they can do proper editing outside. You're amazing today. Thank you very much. I'm very happy. I got my Dove trousers on again. Hang on. See, look. Got my trousers with my Doves on. That's me today. Oh, and the boots. The boots are on again. The big boots. So yeah. Oh. Glad everyone likes stuff. I hope you sleep well. Of course, Frankie, you sleep well too. You have a good night. So pretty. Can you keep me? You can try, Sword and say. I move around a lot. I don't sit still. The paints are made of smiles. They are made of smiles. I agree. Hi, Anna. Hi. It's morning for you. It is morning for you. Go do your thing. Sorry. Wake up. Go have a good day. I still haven't relaced my boots. No. Not at all. ADHD life, right? Right? Oh, I'm glad everyone's having a really nice time. Can you do the Just So stories? I don't know the Just So stories. I will look into them, and we'll see what we can accomplish with that. Hi, I love your videos. Hi, I love your dragon. How's my tooth? My tooth's good. I did what needed to be done, and it seems like everything's going to be okay now. The infection's all gone. So yeah. Good night. Sleep well. Good night. Really is so lovely. This was lovely. I really enjoyed it too. I'm glad everyone could just come sit in and like have a nice time. It is. It's like chilling with friends. I agree. Though if you were all here, I'd be like, shh, shh, shh. If there were 259 people sitting in my room watching me record, I don't think I'd be able to do it. Can you have permission to cut you? Well, you have my permission. Whether that's the permission you need. Just So Stories of Rudyard Kipling. Right, okay. That makes a lot of sense. I probably do know some of them then. Probably haven't heard them in forever in that state. V's dragon statue in the back. Yeah, the dragon of fairy sitting in the corner, screaming down. Luke's and V's collection of mugs and glasses. It's alright, mine are, well, wait. I cleared mine away. It's unlike me. Nala went absolutely nuts when we got home, which was lovely. If I were a tree, what kind would I be? I'd only be a redwood. And not because they're big. And that's not the reason at all. Just because they're really interesting. Like, they're beautiful colors. I love how they do. And I also love how, like, the redwood forests and stuff, if a tree falls down over the roads, they just, like, cut a tunnel through it rather than actually cut it up, which makes me very happy. They're old, resilient, and pretty. Yeah, absolutely. There have been requests for non-spicy BFE on Patreon while you were recording. Okay, fair. Non-spicy BFE. I'm not with the slang, apparently. Fascinating tree, fascinating Joey. Always have unexpected answers, right? Squish to you too. Boyfriend experience, right? Okay, I need to get more clued up on those terms. Because I just call them romantic POVs. Yes, we can do more of those. I can definitely look into writing them though. V is one of my roommates. So my best friend Luke, I live with him. We all live together now, and he lives with his Mrs. V. So V is, her name is Veronique, but we all just call her V for short. And then Nala is the name of the doggo who's upstairs asleep. Hello. Send me a list. Thank you very much. That would be very nice of you. I could listen to you all night. Oh, hello. Hello. Hi. Nice to see you too. How are we all doing? Afternoon. Will the Carnival of Chaos return? The Carnival of Chaos return. Not as the Carnival of Chaos. I know it keeps changing, but I think I have now settled on the way I want to do it, and I've been planning it and recording it. So we just need to get to that point where I can release it. But yeah, it's no longer called the Carnival of Chaos, but it's exactly the same thing, just delivered a little better, in my opinion. If you're a woodland, like I said, I'm very ever evolving. Like I said, I'm very trial and error, and I'll keep correcting things until I like how it is. Luke and Joey are just V's minions, right? Just V's minions, indeed. Good night from Nashville. Good night to you. So no, I'm not going to re-establish a schedule for release. I posted this on the Patreon. This is, send the list via email, please, to Chaos for Joey. That'd be great. Now I've lost what I was saying. It's not your fault. Oh yeah, re-establish or reschedule. So no, I'm just going to post it as it gets created, but this way you can expect like longer pieces of content. There may not be as much posted each week. Schedule. Yeah, the schedule was a ridiculous amount, as well as managing a lot of other stuff on top of it. So, and like I said in that post, giving deadlines for things when I thought they were going to be ready was a terrible idea. So now it literally is a case of my Patreon is there and stuff gets posted as it's edited, finalized, and on there. And so, you know, like 1 week you may get 1 post, but the next week you might get 6. It's just the way it is. Unfortunately, it is a bit chaotic, but that's the way I roll. I am taking a lot more care of myself than stressing. I mean, my mental health has improved tenfold since I started taking care of myself. Of course, Sword and Sea, have a good time. Thank you for being here. We'll see you again soon, hopefully. I push deadlines, absolutely. It's always a nice surprise that way. Agreed. Knock, knock. Who's there? See, I never got the knock, knock, who's there joke, because when someone knocks, I just tend to open the door. Knock, knock. Uh-huh. Yeah? What? Will you finish the asylum story? This has been replaned, as I've announced before as well. So this is a huge project now. This has delved into something bigger than I ever imagined, because I'm getting other people involved, like other voice actors involved to do other characters. And we're also creating it into a big piece. I don't know when it's going to be out. It's a huge work in progress. But essentially some people took some interest in the asylum story and how I was going about doing this pick your own audiobook adventure. So now it's getting compiled into this intense pick your own audiobook story, which is going to be really interesting when it's done. Because people really will be able to listen to the insane asylum story I'm writing, and multiple times, and at least hopefully 2 or 3 or 4 times through. Hopefully you'll be able to have a different experience each time you listen to it, or at least a mildly different experience. So yeah, this is what we're going for, and it's like I say, it's a massive piece and a massive commitment, and there's a lot of production and money and time and conversation going into it, and hopefully that will be like a crowning achievement for me. But I don't see it being something done quickly. You know, like there's a big storyboard and everything going on at the moment to try and make sure that as the story arcs out into these multiple choices, that it kind of arcs back towards the same ending, but different endings. It's very complicated. and it's oh yeah, just crazy, just crazy. Um, exactly. So yeah, it'll be a choose your own audiobook adventure. So that should be it'd be strange, very strange. And I hope that when people do it, obviously they'll then be able to talk to each other about, like, without spoilers, like what's going on, how's Tim faring in theirs, like, without spoilers, they could sit there going, oh, Tim seems pretty mentally stable in mine, and just go, you kidding, he's just took out a gun and shot 3 cashiers in mine. So yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying the adventure of making it, and if it all comes together really well and it all comes out nicely, then I will work on number 2, which will be a completely separate story. So yeah. Poor Tim. I know. Tim's stuck in a suspended reality until it all comes together. I think it'll be great fun. It's amazing to see how much your confidence has blossomed since your course. I know. The days I wouldn't even talk on camera. It was crazy. And now look, here I am talking for a living. So yeah. I'm attached to Tim too. Tim really has become like a complete and utter like part of my reality, as well as his sort of brain demons. They're all in there, and they're having a whale of a time creating lines and scenes and scenarios, and you know. Back to work you go. I love you too, Tara. Thank you for being here. I love your new job. I love my new job. It makes me very happy. I don't know what I'd do without it. And, one day it may be over and I have to go back to working a 9 to 5. And if I do, that's fine. It's just another adventure. But I will grasp and chase this adventure for as long as it will let me chase it. So Tim's caught in a trouble bubble. He is caught in a trouble bubble. We need to get him out of that. Find a sharp object and pop it. We've all been there. Terrified at first, but we all just take our time now. Oh, have a wonderful night. I'm sorry, shit. Very tired. So I should probably go to sleep soon. But I love you all. I'm glad you can all support me too. Like the love and support I get on this journey into becoming a voice actor is just the most incredible thing I've ever been a part of in my life, and it makes me so happy. And it's exhausting and taxing and mentally intense, but it's the most beautiful, wonderful thing I've ever done. I've never wanted to try harder, and I like trying hard. Oh, time for bed indeed. Definitely think it's bedtime. Okay, I will see you all again soon. Let's have 30 seconds of goodbyes and relaxations. I love you all very much. Thank you very much for hitting the like button. I can see you got me to 114.5 thousand likes, which is actually really insane. And I appreciate it so much. Each and every one of you are incredible, and I love you. And I hope to see you all again soon. And you make me happy, and you make my day. And now, hopefully, I'm gonna go find something to munch on because I'm a little snacky. But just a little snack, tiny snack, and then I'm gonna go get some sleep. I am gonna go to bed, I promise. Good night, everyone. Okay, sleep well. I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye. You're very welcome. I'm glad I could be here. Bye-bye. Oh my god, hello. Sorry, I'm now leaving. Okay, bye-bye. I will drink my water, I promise. Okay.